Hello, everyone. You can see me well. Hello. This is Elkie of Savvy Moms Unite. I want to try and put my phone in a position I can sit in front of it and not have to hold it. So I'm Elkie of Savvy Moms Unite. You can follow me on Twitter. It's SavvyMomElkie. You can also check out my FB page, Savvy Moms Unite. And I'm SavvyMomElkie on IG as well. So I thought I'd jump on Periscope real quick. Feel free to share with everyone if you can. But I thought I'd jump on Periscope real quick because I was watching this story on CNN.com website, and it was about a single mom who was trying to live on $7.50 an hour, minimum wage. And she basically ran down all her expenses and what she needed to do in order to survive. And as she was telling her story, I literally teared up because I felt for her. I remember my first years as being a single mom and how I struggled. This woman was living on for $7.50 an hour and sometimes only getting $230 every 2 weeks. She has a 1-year-old. The father of the child was incarcerated. Her rent was over $500 a month. Her food expenses, this wasn't including food expenses, child care when she's at work. There was all this host of health care. There was all these things that she had to pay for. And if she wasn't getting assistance from family members, from the government, from anyone else, she could not survive. And as she's telling the story, I'm like, oh my God, why is this happening? Like, why is she having to struggle in the way she is? And it reminded me of my first years. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was 27 years old. I was a college graduate. I had just moved back in my parents' home because I couldn't afford to live on my own. I was barely making it. I was making at the time only $28,000. And I had to beg to get $28,000. I was working for a school at the time. I had no savings. I had a vehicle that was always breaking down on me. I had no place of my own. I only had my bed. I had nothing for the baby. I had nothing. The father, her father and I were going through a really bad breakup, and just having a lot of issues. He wasn't in a position financially to help support me, so I was really on my own. And I remember being depressed. I remember being so depressed and so heartbroken that I couldn't provide for my baby. And I was going through this really terrible separation. So there was times I was really sad. I felt broken. I felt lost. I felt incapable. And I just didn't understand why I was in that position. I'm like, I did all the right things. I got my BA. I went to school. I worked hard. Why wasn't I making it? What was wrong with me that I couldn't make it? And I was struggling. I didn't have health care for her. I couldn't afford formula. If it wasn't for family members buying clothes for her, she would not have had clothes. I remember one day I had to keep Pampers on my baby. I don't even think my family knows this. But I had to keep Pampers on her for almost an entire day. One Pampers, because I didn't have anything to change her in. I had nothing to give to her. And there would be days I'd be in my room crying, what am I going to do? I'm supposed to be taking care of this baby. I'm supposed to be the strong one. I'm supposed to be in a better position. What am I doing at 27 years old and I can't take care of my kid? And I have education. The myth they tell you, get an education, get a good job, and you'll be straight. But I was still not at the place I wanted to be. And this went on until my child was 5 years old. when I tell you I struggled up until she was 5 years old, my daughter's eight now. So it's only recently that I've gotten to the point where, like, I feel okay. But I struggled for 5 years of my daughter's life to provide for her. I remember one time her daycare threatened to kick her out when she was 4 years old. They were like, we're going to kick her out because you're not paying us. And we can't let you keep bringing her here. And I had to work. I was like, she needs to be in daycare. I have to work. Like, I can't keep her at home all the time with my parents, even though they were willing to help. My parents were a great support, and I thank God for them. I really thank God for my parents, my sisters, my brothers, my brother-in-law. Like, they really stepped in. And till this day, like, still, you know, they treat my daughter as if they're their child. But that financial piece, when I couldn't step in, when I couldn't provide, I felt like a failure. I felt like I had done so much to fail my child, and I wasn't deserving of the good things that was coming because I failed. I failed at life. For a long time, I didn't even feel like I was a good mother. I questioned my parentage. I questioned what I did all the time. I felt so completely lost. And about almost 4 years ago, before I got the current job that I'm in, and before I even decided to start, you know, my business, I had decided that I needed to make some changes in my life, and I wasn't going to live in my depression. I was going to thrive. I was going to work hard. I was going to push myself even at the times I couldn't. And it wasn't easy. But one of the things I did, I fasted. So for 21 days, I decided to fast and pray. And through that fast and pray, I asked God for certain things. I wrote it down. I was very specific. I was very conscious of what I wanted. I was very thoughtful about what I wanted. And I asked for everything. I was like, God, I want to move out of my parents' house. I don't want to be 35 and still here. I want my daughter to be in a good school system. I want to have a job that pays me a certain amount of money. I want a car that I can rely on. I want to be able to afford food, clothing, shelter for her. I want to be able to do for myself and not have to ask anyone for anything. I want to be okay. And all those things, and at the time I was, struggling with my weight as well. And I asked God to help me with that. And within a year, all those things happened. Everything I asked for. I got a job out of state. I was able to move out of state. I got my own place. I got the exact amount I asked for. The exact. I asked for a new school district for her. The district was one of the best in the state. I lost weight. I'd lost 30 pounds at the time. There was so many good things happening in my life at that year that there were times I couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't believe that I got from not being able to put Pampers on my kid on a consistent basis, giving her health care. She didn't have insurance for almost 3 years of her life. So she only had insurance for up until she was 1 year old. She didn't have it from 1 year old to 5. She wasn't on health insurance. So every time she went to the doctor, I had to take her to the emergency room, or I had to take her to somewhere where I knew they wouldn't ask for their money right away because I was so, broke. Now my daughter's on one of the best insurance. I've been doing this alone. My parents don't live nearby. My siblings don't live nearby. I've been doing this completely on my own for the last 4 years, and successfully. I've been financially in a far better place than I've ever been. I'm managing my finances far better. I make more money than I made back then, way more money, and I started my business. All in the same. I got my master's in the process. Can you believe that? So in all that time when I was trying to revamp my life, I ended up getting my master's. So now I'm a master's holder. All that. I was just determined. I was like, I'm not going to meet another day. I've reminded myself every day. I said, every time I wanted to quit, when I wanted to quit school, when I wanted to quit working, when I wanted to quit everything, I said, listen, I remember the day I sat in my room, looked over at my daughter in the same bed we were sharing, and I said, I don't want to meet this day again. I promised myself we would never see that day again because it wasn't necessary. I had to do better, and I was determined to do better. So as I listened to this woman's story where she was making $7.50 an hour and getting $200 every 2 weeks and still trying to make it, I was like, there's no excuse. There's none. We have no excuse to make it in this world. We are blessed. We are blessed beyond blessed. We have the tools we need. We just need to move forward. We just need to push. We just need to give ourselves the opportunity to fall and continue to make it in this world. We will fail. There's still challenges. I still meet challenges all the time. There's still days when I'm like, oh, I really wish I had it together. And I don't. But I am far better off than I was years ago when I did not know where the next penny was coming to buy food for my daughter. When I was looking to get certain things for her, when they were telling me, oh, she needs this kind of medicine, and I didn't have the money to buy it, or even to buy medicine for myself. I no longer have to look back and say, that is still my life. It's so much different now. But that took time. That took effort. That took determination. That took true faith. Because without it, I don't think I'd be here today. I wouldn't be talking to you guys. I wouldn't be able to even look at my life back then and reflect on it and think of the accomplishments I've made. I'd still be stuck. If ever you feel stuck, if ever you feel like, you can't move forward, there's always something out there willing to pull you out. Someone. Reach out to someone. Talk to someone. Don't sit in your mess. Don't sit. I was doing that for so long that it took a mental hold on me. I sat in my mess for too long. I didn't get the help I needed until I was so far down that I had nowhere else to go. I had to go up. So that's when I finally just gave up and said, you know what? I need support. I need someone to help me. And I looked to God for his strength. And I looked to the others around me who were willing to support me and help. And they came through. All my family, all my friends, they came through. So what I'm looking at is the growth that I've had. I've had tremendous growth. And anyone can have that growth. It's just being committed to the journey. My first year as a single mom, yeah, it was tough, but it taught me great lessons. And that's why I hope to inspire other moms to do even better than what they do now. To live a life where you feel like you can live abundantly, where you can have a great relationship with your child and be a career woman and be a businesswoman and be all that you want to be. Your children look to you for all their blessings, for all the things that you could teach them, and you are that. So if you're not good, if you're not in a good place, how can you get your kid there? My daughter would have suffered had I stayed where I was. But she's so much better off now because I made a commitment and I made a decision to change my life. So this is all to just give you a sense of, where I'm coming from, why I do this, why I started Savvy Moms Unite. I want to be able to help that mom, like I saw on CNN, who's struggling to make it, to come out of her situation and see a better day. I want to be that to every mom that I come in contact with. I wanted to walk away from the process of working with me and say, you know what? I can do this. I'm down in my dumps, but I'm going to make it happen. I'm committed to my journey. I'm committed to making things work for me. And that's what I inspire to do, and that's what I am going to do, is to give those women that encouragement they need to move forward. Because you know what? Sometimes this world will beat you up, but there's always someone there willing to give you a hand. So thank you for listening. I'm sorry. I know I went on for a long time, but thank you for listening. Please share this Periscope with your followers. You can find me on Twitter, SavvyMomElkie, on IG, SavvyMomElkie, and on Facebook, Savvy Moms Unite. Thank you.